Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about which is the best yogurt for you. I have 5 different yogurts to choose from: gasseri, Greek, Skyr, reuteri, and Yogurt Plus, all specialty yogurts with unique probiotic strains. So it's hard to know which one is right for you. And over the years, I've made and enjoyed so many different kinds of yogurt. And what I've discovered is this: the best yogurt is the one that supports your body, your health goals, and yes, even your taste buds, because that's important to me too. So let's break it all down together. Let's start with reuteri yogurt. This is the Love and Wellness yogurt, and it's one of our more popular yogurts. Now, Lactobacillus reuteri is one of the most powerful probiotics that you can add to your life. And sadly, most of us are missing it. If you've even had one round of an antibiotic, reuteri is likely gone from your system. So this is pretty tragic because everybody, including animals, should have specific strains of reuteri. Since it lives in the upper gastrointestinal area, it's very hard to get from supplements. And they really don't work at all and actually can cause more problems than they help. So it's best to get it from yogurt because the body knows how to handle it and it gets it to the parts of the body that's needed. Now, since it lives in that upper gastrointestinal area, it's one of the things that makes this cultured yogurt the best way to restore that area. And over the years, I've had so many people reaching out to me saying they finally got rid of SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, if you don't know what that is. And they started sleeping more deeply, felt a profound sense of wellness, and even noticed changes in muscle tone and skin, all from reuteri yogurt. Here are some of the things that only reuteri can do. It creates oxytocin, which is the love hormone. It helps eliminate SIBO and irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. It helps support balance, and it also helps control candida. Now, it can also improve your skin health, increase muscle growth and bone density, and actually helps with insulin sensitivity, slenderness. It makes you much less hungry for some reason. It helps with H. pylori infection. It restores that deep, restful sleep, which I said earlier. And it even does more than this. But it works very well. So if you have any of those problems, this is a great one to get. Now, reuteri yogurt is technically not yogurt. It's basically a fermented dairy, so it doesn't behave like regular yogurt. So there's a few things you need to know about reuteri if you make it, which I've written countless articles and have it on the recipes about ways to help you make a really successful yogurt. And the thing about reuteri is that it has to be fermented for 36 hours. And it has to be done at 100 degrees because it likes body temperature. It's not like a regular yogurt. So if you don't ferment it for 36 hours, you're not really getting any reuteri. It doesn't even start making reuteri till hour 30. And you have to do it low and slow, and then you get tons and tons and tons of reuteri. But we've tested it many, many times. And so it's a very specific type of fermented dairy that you have to make at a certain temperature and for so many hours. And it works really well if you do it that way. So, and I have lots of help for you. I have FAQs. I have articles showing all the different things you can do to help make this yummy yogurt. Now, the second yogurt that we talk about is gasseri yogurt. And this is a gut healing yogurt. So Lactobacillus gasseri is a very important microbe that naturally lives in the genital, urinary tract, and digestive system of the body. Just like reuteri can survive in the upper gastrointestinal tract, so can gasseri, which makes it especially unique. So many people find that it's helpful for conditions that are hard to manage otherwise. It's very effective for SIBO, the small intestinal bacterial growth, although, let me just say this, I think reuteri is the most powerful for that. I think gasseri helps, but I think reuteri is the one that works the best. But you can also eat gasseri and reuteri in yogurts together to increase the benefits, giving it a more boostful boost from 2 strains that really complement each other beautifully. And we used to recommend that you make them together, But we have found after much testing that it works better to make them separate, and then you can eat them together, but you should make L-gasseri and L-reuteri separate. Let me explain why, because when you make L-reuteri and L-gasseri together, L-reuteri is so strong, it dominates and it kills a lot of the L-gasseri when it's fermenting, because it's just so crazy strong. They use reuteri to clean the fermentation vats, and it goes after all the other microbes. Okay, so now let's talk about all of the Bulgarian yogurts I have. Now, Bulgarian yogurt is specific strains, and it's one of the oldest and most beloved cultures in the world. From the mountains of Bulgaria, where yogurt was first made famous, to the creamy Skyr of Ireland, the Skyr yogurt. So there has been very many ones from Greece, and also I think there's a lot from Turkey. They say Bulgarian really originated. The Turkish people helped to show the Bulgarian people how to make yogurt. So there's a lot of back and forth on that. But whatever it is, they all have some really delicious strains. And they're all similar. They're all very similar, but they have unique ones for their area. So we have a lot of options for them for you to try. And I have my favorites. But the really cool thing about these Bulgarian yogurts is you can make them like in an insulated mug, a really good stainless steel mug. And, everybody has these from Stanley to Yeti to, you don't want to get the cheap ones because they're coated with stuff. I sell one that's a really good one, but you can also use one that you have that's a thick-walled stainless steel mug. And you can just stick the yogurt in there, warm the milk up, put the culture in there with the milk in the mug, and you can just let it sit for anywhere from 8 to 24 hours, and you have delicious creamy Bulgarian yogurt. Now, each one of these strains is just slightly unique, and let me explain why. Let's start with Skyr. This is a thick, creamy heirloom yogurt, and it's made from Iceland. The strain comes from there, and it's rich in protein and in history. And it has the best taste. I love this yogurt. Greek yogurt is such good yogurt. It's high in protein, just like Skyr is high in protein. And it's a staple in the Mediterranean tradition, and it too is very delicious. And then we have one that we designed called Yogurt Plus, which has the same type of beneficial cultures in it, but we added in bifidobacteria into it to support your gut, mood, and immunity, because bifido is so important for your immune system. So those three are all Bulgarian yogurts. We sell they're all different, slightly different just because of the country they come from. And then Yogurt Plus has bifido, the addition of that, but they all are basically Bulgarian yogurts. So let me explain. Yogurt Plus is the first one. This is the all-in-one yogurt. Yogurt Plus is a wonderful blend that contains some of the most important bacteria your body needs, especially bifidobacteria. This is the very same microbe that your mother gave you at birth, and within a week of your life, bifido became the most predominant 95% microorganism in your intestines, in your baby's intestines. So Yogurt Plus includes Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacillus debrucii, which is a subspecies of Bulgarius, and they work together in perfect symbiose, which is just how they should work. They work really well together. And research has shown that Streptococcus thermophilus and Bifidobacterium longum can actually help improve anxiety and depression-like behaviors that are derived from your neurotropic factor, which is your BDNF, which supports brain function by lowering inflammation in the brain. Bifidobacteria feeds all the other good bacteria in your gut, so it helps to restore missing microbes that may contribute to food allergies. That's really important. So many people have food allergies because they're missing bifido. It helps to support emotional health by helping with anxiety and depression. It helps in weight management because it improves your insulin sensitivity. It helps with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, and it's very anti-inflammatory for that. And it is truly a multi-strain powerhouse yogurt that covers digestion, mood, metabolism, and it also helps to strengthen your immune system. A lot of these autoimmune diseases we're seeing are because people are lacking bifidobacteria. I've seen this a lot in the last few years, that people's bifido has just dropped to nothing. And so getting more bifido into your diet And you can do that with HMOs, which is human milk oligosaccharides, which is a prebiotic that your mother gives you at birth, but you can buy them in a fermented form. And it works really, really well to help you to build up that bifido quickly, and along with this yogurt to allow your body to heal and to give more bifido, because it's the young bacteria. So it keeps you young and strong. Okay, the second one is Greek yogurt, which has been enjoyed for centuries. I just love Greek yogurt. Now, this yogurt has been used for so long in the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cultures. And it's known not just as a food, but as a nourishing daily staple. And traditionally it was made by fermenting fresh sheep's milk and straining it to achieve its signature thickness. But it is often served with honey, which makes it incredibly delicious. And the straining process makes Greek yogurt higher in protein than regular yogurt. And that a lot of people are, me personally, I am using massive amounts of Greek and Skyr yogurt because they're high in protein. And I strain out the whey. I even have special strainers to help you do that. But it's so versatile. You can enjoy it sweet. You can enjoy it savory in breakfast bowls, smoothies, or as a dip, or even as a healthy swap in baking and cooking, which I do. Like, for instance, this weekend, or it's not this weekend, last weekend, I made a kind of a ranch tzatziki yogurt sauce that is basically a dressing. And I had to make it 3 times because everybody kept eating it. It was so simple to make. You just use a spoon and stir in the ingredients. I think I have that on one of my recipes. It's so delicious, and it's just a few things, and you just stir it into Greek yogurt. But it's creamy and good, and it doesn't have all the junk that you get in store-bought dips or dressings. And it's very, very versatile, but also works really good. I also use Skyr to do it because Skyr and Greek are very similar. But I make these cookies that are made with yogurt and a few ingredients. They're high in protein, and oh my gosh, they're so good. I'm using these yogurts more and more in cooking and making yummy desserts or yummy snacks that are really healthy for you, because it's high in protein, so it supports your muscle health, but it also creates satiety, which means it makes you feel full and it makes you feel satisfied. And so it helps with appetite regulation, rich in probiotics, so it balances the gut microbiome, supports digestion, boosts immunity. It has lots of calcium, so it builds strong bone, teeth, heart, and nerve functions. And you need this too as you get older. You need to keep your bones strong, and yogurts and kefir are some of the greatest things for that. But it's also very low in sugar. There's most of the sugar is completely gone. It's 99% of the sugar is gone, so it helps to naturally lower in sugar than other yogurts. So it's naturally going to help you to not have as many carbohydrates in your recipes. It also aids in blood sugar control. Proteins always slows digestion and stabilizes your blood sugar. It helps support weight management. The combo of proteins and probiotics helps with so much to help boost your metabolism, but also make you feel full longer. It's versatile and nourishing. And I just go through gallons of this stuff because I enjoy it in both sweet and savory recipes. But it also contains a lot of minerals, which is proteins, magnesium, B vitamins, and we need minerals. People aren't realizing how much we need minerals. I'm going to do an article on that. I've seen minerals change some severe things in my family because they were lacking minerals and they didn't even know it. So that's one of the things these foods are very rich in. And I love getting extra minerals in my diet through supplements too, because I think it's really important, especially as you get older. Now, Skyr. This is the best yogurt. It's this creamy heirloom yogurt. And I've been eating Skyr yogurt for many years, and I loved it so much because it had high protein, but it had this creaminess and this flavor that I absolutely loved. I love how it turns out even with milk that's low in fat, even fat-free milk. It lowers the calories. It makes the best fat-free yogurt of all of them. And Greek does too, but Skyr is just even better. And I eat it constantly. I use it in recipes. It tastes a little bit like cheese sometimes, I think, more than yogurt, but it's still very, very good. And it has slightly more protein than Greek. Not a lot, but a little bit more. but I think it's the best tasting of all of the yogurts that I sell and make. It's my favorite. And it's stood the test of time because this heirloom culture is made, it comes from Iceland. It's creamy, nourishing, and oh my gosh, it is very delicious. So here's the deal. So with Skyr yogurt, when you strain out the whey, it nearly doubles the protein that's in regular yogurt. So it supports muscle repair, bone health, and keeps you full longer. Now, if you strain out the whey in any yogurt, it's going to double the protein. But this just has more protein naturally, but any of these yogurts you strain is going to do that. So, and it's also an excellent source of calcium, phosphorus for strong bone, teeth, nerve, and heart function, just like Greek. It supports your health because it's naturally low in fat, rich in minerals like potassium and calcium, but it's also good for your blood pressure. It's great for weight management, because high protein and low sugar helps stabilize that blood sugar craving and supports healthy weight goals. And guys, okay, there's a big hype going on right now about people eating more protein. And okay, so I'm on the bandwagon because it does really work. I'm telling you, if you have 30 grams of protein in a meal and it calms you down, you feel better. It helps to stabilize your hormones, your blood sugar. It helps everything. And I think that's one of the secrets that people aren't aware of how we aren't getting enough proteins in our diet. And it just makes everything work better. And it has for me. I mean, it kind of shocks me a little bit, but now I'm using so much of it naturally that I don't even have to worry about having a lot of protein because it's naturally in almost all my meals, because I usually eat, quite a bit of protein naturally. But when I added in more of the yogurts into my recipes, and it's fast and easy too, guys. I mean, yesterday we went to Disneyland. They had a special holiday thing, and we went and spent the night at a hotel, and they had a breakfast buffet. And they had the best yogurt. I think it was Skyr yogurt is what it was, or Greek. And it was so creamy, but it was strained. It was good, and they had toppings. And I noticed my daughters, we couldn't stop eating the yogurt. It was ridiculous. And we eat yogurt all the time, but we just naturally crave it. And they had eggs and everything else there, but we loved that yogurt just like we love it at home. And it's one of those things that makes you feel satisfied because you can go hours and hours when you have a lot of protein in your diet. And especially in the morning, it makes a big difference. And I always have some kind of either kefir or sometimes I usually put them together. I usually make a kefir smoothie and I put Skyr or Greek in there too, or Yogurt Plus, whichever one I have. And it's so easy to make now because I just make it in a mug. So I always have some on hand and I usually just strain it out. I have this really cool yogurt strainer that fits in the door of my refrigerator, and I'll link that in the description below. But it just makes it so fast and easy that I'm constantly, when I'm looking for a fast meal, fast food, I mean, I'm eating this stuff. And I made some peaches to put on it the other day where I just put a little bit of water in a bowl and cut up some peaches and stewed it and made a topping. It's so good. It's just a fast and easy meal. I mean, people are always wanting fast food. And that's why they're going to these drive-thrus, which, by the way, is not fast. It takes time to do all that. When you have this in your kitchen, it's super fast and super satisfying, but it's got to taste good and you'll start craving it. I'm telling you, it really is incredible. So all of these different yogurts offer different functions that are so good for you. So it depends on what you're looking for. Greek and Skyr are very similar, and so is Yogurt Plus. But Yogurt Plus has the addition of bifido. So depending on what you want, whether it's, Lactobacillus reuteri, which creates oxytocin, that love hormone that you get after you have a baby, or if you're falling in love. It helps restore deep sleep, improve skin, helps with SIBO, Candida, H. pylori. If you're looking to build muscle and if you're, lifting weights and things like that, which I do, L. reuteri is a great one for that. L. gasseri also helps with SIBO, IBS, and prevents things like UTIs, because that's a really important one for that. But it also helps with weight loss. There's a lot of weight loss studies on gasseri, but I don't know if I believe it all. So I'm just being honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of studies that say, it helped, but it didn't really do that for me. And the studies were kind of like, I don't know. I was a little leery of the big claims they make about gasseri and weight loss. I think L-reuteri kills your appetite, makes you eat less, and gasseri can do a little of that. L-reuteri is stronger, but I think it helps with again things on like peptic ulcers, gut health, women's health especially. I think that's what gasseri yogurt's good for. So there's a lot of claims out there. I wouldn't necessarily promote. It might do the weight loss thing, but I haven't really seen it. So I'm just being honest with you. So Yogurt Plus is great. It has so many wonderful things in it, from Bifido to the Streptococcus thermophilus, which all three of these yogurts have, and L. bulgarius or L. debuckii, which is in all three of the yogurts, just from different areas. It's all in Yogurt Plus too. It helps to feed your microbes. It's good for food allergies, really good for that. It improves mood, anxiety, depression, and it also helps with increased insulin sensitivity. And it's kind of a broad benefits. There's a lot of benefits for that. Digestion, mood, immunity, and they all work really well. Skyr is the same, wonderful cultures. Thermophilus, Streptococcus thermophilus, Bulgarius, debuckii, which is so important for your microbiome. It helps to really diversify things. It has the highest protein of any yogurt. Its creamy, cheesy-like texture is just so good. I love the taste. It's excellent calcium and phosphorus for bones and nerve health. It helps to stabilize your blood sugar, aids in weight management because it makes you feel full, and it's just a great yogurt. Greek does almost the same thing. It's high protein, probiotic rich, supports satiety and muscle repair, stabilizes blood sugar, strengthens your bone, teeth, boost immunity. It's versatile in sweet and savory recipes. They all pretty much do the same, the Greek and the Skyr. And they're just a great thing to have in your kitchen all the time, in your fridge, because you're going to reach for them when you're hungry. I mean, when I want a fast meal, this is something I do, and I add stuff to it to make it more filling. And it's one of the most delicious ways to heal your microbiome. So depending on what you need and what you do, I think that the Bulgarian yogurts, the Yogurt Plus, the Skyr, and the Greek are the easiest to make. Reuteri and L-gasseri take longer to make. Reuteri especially needs that 36 hours to ferment, and it does create huge benefits for people, but it's a little bit more problematic than the Bulgarians, but it has a lot of different benefits. So especially if anybody's struggling with SIBO, I recommend L-reuteri. It's really good. Gasseri helps too, but L-reuteri is the star, and it's the one that I see. It takes about, depending on how bad you are, 2 to 3 months, I think, of having it all the time to, really eradicate that. And it does it. It's really interesting. It does in your intestines what it does when they use it to clean the fermentation vats in fermentation facilities. It goes in and it cleans out all the different species that don't belong there. It kills them. And it's very powerful in doing that because it's a very strong microbe. So it goes in there and restores balance to your upper gastro area, because SIBO happens, which is when bacteria gets into the upper gastro area where it doesn't belong. And a lot of that comes from people taking the supplements. They take these huge amounts of different probiotic strains in supplement form, and sometimes they open up in parts of the body where they don't belong. Well, most of the time they get killed by the stomach acids, so they're not very effective anyway. And food has a protective halo on it, which allows it to speed to the parts of the body where it needs to go. The body knows what to do with it. The body is smart. And these supplements can kind of wreak havoc on people, especially when they're already struggling and imbalanced. Their microbiomes are struggling. And all of these have different things in the body. I mean, the longest living woman just died. I think was she 117? I can't remember for sure, but she ate 3 yogurts a day, which were a Bulgarian type of yogurt. Now, the ones she got they got the milk from the cows locally, and it was very fresh and very good. She basically got about the freshest yogurt you could get, but she had those strains in there, and they said she had the microbiome of a young child. So, and I'm assuming that was from the yogurt she ate every day. So 3 times a day. So that is a wonderful lesson in longevity. I see that with kefir. I see that with certain yogurts. And I just think it's really important as we get older and as when we're young too, to have these yogurts to really repair our guts and our microbiomes so that we can stay young and healthy. Because guys, it is just life-changing to have a lot of energy and to feel good all the time as you get older. I mean, I feel better now than I did years ago when I didn't know about these foods because my microbiome shifted so much, and I've continued to eat them, and I've added more because I really enjoy them. Kefir I do daily because there's so many health benefits in kefir because it has 50 plus probiotics and good yeast. And I can tell when I haven't had kefir. I mean, I have kefir almost every single day, and I mix it with yogurt too. I like it. Sometimes I just have yogurt by itself too, but most days I do. I usually use it in recipes or something, but for kefir, it's almost an everyday thing for the last 24 years because the health benefits are huge. I think a lot of it is because of the anti-inflammatory qualities kefir has. It's so powerful that it really does make a difference. You can feel it. And it makes those, your inflammation go down. And it just makes such a difference that I don't want to go a day without it. It's not worth it to me because it makes such a big difference. And it's peach season right now. So peach kefir is one of my favorites where I freeze the peaches, put a little vanilla in there, and make a peach kefir smoothie. And I put a little vanilla whey protein. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite time of year in August is to eat those peaches and make those peach smoothies. They are so good. So anyway, well, this is supposed to be about yogurt, but anyway, it's all the same to me because I love them all because fermentation has been the secret to my life. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you'll try one of these. I have starter cultures for all of them. I'll put all the descriptions and link in the bio. Remember, the ones you get in the stores are not as strong. Sometimes they're even dead. They don't have the strains. And you can kind of tell that, especially if they don't get more sour over time, then the bacteria is not really alive. They tested a lot of yogurts on the store shelves, and they said like 75% didn't even have active cultures in them anymore. And I think it's because they just sit there and they consume all the food, and then there's nothing for them to eat, so the cultures kind of die off. It doesn't mean they're not good. They are good, but they don't have the strength that you will get if you make your own. And guys, it's 4 steps to make these. Reuteri, gasseri, or more. You need a yogurt maker, and you do it for 36 hours, but it's not that big a deal. You're just stirring it all up in a jar. The other ones you can make in a mug and have it in 8 to 12 hours, and it takes 4 easy steps. So take a look at those. Find the one that suits you. Head on over to culturedfoodlife.com, and I have little buttons on the article. If you want to look at the article, it shows you where to get the starters, and I'll also put it in the link in the description. But they're great. Find the one that most benefits you and start eating that yogurt because it'll make all the difference. Thanks, guys.